What's up, y'all? It's Chestnut. Today I'm covering a game that I played just now. And is it a spectacular game? No, but I found it kind of interesting. As you can see, my accuracy is not that great. I don't take that much into account because the longer the game goes, the more mistakes I typically make. But it is nice to see the blunders that I make that are kind of obvious. This one has some pretty big ones where it's just like I didn't really take time to think about this, and even looking back, just looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty stupid. So I'm gonna go over this now. I start out uh how I usually play. This is what I play. Um, I'm thinking I'm gonna control the center. Nothing too crazy, you know. Right here, I'm getting ready to uh, push that, defending that square because as soon as I move that pawn up, my knight actually doesn't defend it because the bishop comes in. So pretty standard stuff, nothing crazy. That's what I'm thinking about. Uh, this wasn't all that necessary, but I'm trying to develop. Sometimes you don't exactly know how. I'm rated 1200, so I don't know that I should be giving anybody advice, but I'm at least going through my thought process of things. Right here, I was thinking I didn't want him to move there with the knight once I pushed that. And I think it says it's an inaccuracy, but looking at it, I hardly even read why. I'm just thinking in my head, it doesn't really prevent anything because if I push that, he's not going to just fall into this. Like, yes, that's attacking that square, but I'm not even scared of the knight going on that square if you really think about it. If the knight goes on that square, what is he going to do? Get here, get murked, get here, get murked, get here, get murked. So he's not even thinking about going to that square. It doesn't matter at all. And these are the types of things where I'm like a little frustrated with myself because I'm like, whoa, what was I even doing that for, you know? So, uh, I mean, it's a little overcritical. It's not like this is like a game-crushing mistake or anything. But I am looking at it now thinking, what was the point of that? I could have just pushed that, went for early development, um, pushed him back. Things would be going pretty smooth. Now I don't think he made like the best moves either. So it kind of works out. That's how it goes when you're playing people that are actually your elo. You just make similar moves. So right here, I was looking for a while, thinking how to trade this down, or if I should trade down, or what I should do. I even considered like stalling a move and just winning a pawn. That pawn is there for the taking. At least in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, he forgot about that pawn. Useless, you know. But I found this pin, which it says is a mistake, but I thought it was pretty good. Pins that to that. Um, if he doesn't do anything, I could just take right there. The pin's nice. Here's where it's kind of stupid. So he makes a big blunder. I literally just made the move, right? This is this is where you're gonna get frustrated with me, and I'm also frustrated. I literally just made this move because it's a pin. So this was top of my mind, this pin. This is the only, I'm not thinking of 40 different things like these grandmasters. I was thinking about the pin. He takes, right? I bird brain, take back. And it's like, again, I'm just, what was I scared of? Well, I guess that's a check. I kind of have to take back. Never mind. But I could have took back with the pawn. No, actually, I think that was kind of right now. Okay, never mind. The first time I reviewed this, I thought I was bird brain and I should have just got the rook, but I did have to take back. Um, Now it probably is better to take with the pawn. Let's see what it says. Okay, see, it's getting into this. I don't even know why that is better. Sometimes you click like, oh, show me the moves, and you're just like at a loss. Okay, so I actually didn't play that part that bad. Um, again, the pawn. Like, why did I need a castle here? I could have took that pawn, but I thought, that'll be there when I want to take it. That's not how chess works. So he attacks my queen. I trade down. I'll talk about that in a second. But then he moves the pawn. So, I could have won this pawn, what, 5 moves? And then because I waited for usually no reason, I didn't get the pawn. Right here, to be honest, I just didn't want to think as much. I didn't have a great, I didn't feel like I had a great place to put it. I felt like if I was too conservative with my piece, it would just stall the game. And I thought, whatever, we trade down queens. I actually was thinking in my head, which is kind of funny, after I trade down queens, you know what I could do? I could get that pawn. So it's like a lot of times I was thinking of the right idea. I was just thinking about it at the wrong time. So, so yeah, we trade down queens. And I don't think this pawn structure is any better for me, having that pawn by itself. But he also doesn't have an immediate attack for it, so maybe not the biggest mistake. Right here, I'm kind of thinking about this square, thinking what would happen if I trade down. And I have to get out of check, and he wants to trade down, which I thought was kind of silly. I thought, well, that's weird, because, how is that going to help you? It's saying this is an inaccuracy, like I should have taken with the bishop instead, then be attacking with the knight. And I guess that's probably correct because if I take with the bishop, he takes with that. He has to move this, but that wins me here. It's saying something else, but in my mind at least, that's a pretty great move. So looking back, ignoring the engine a little bit. Where am I? Oh yeah, I don't know how I'm in some other part on the analysis. It's kind of ticking me off. Sorry, I'm not so familiar with this. Okay. It's got a little lost. Anyways, back to the game. Yeah, so, in hindsight, with my human brain, not the H3 brain that they're trying to tell me about, I think that would have been better. I would have won that pawn. And after that, it probably would have just been a matter of time before, I slowly just choke him out. Right here, I'm completely content trading down because I figure, he doesn't really have attacks on my structure. My king is safe. Uh, Honestly, if he didn't take there, I'd just get a checkmate. Trying to think of what move would even be good. I can't even think of a move that he would do. But if he didn't move this structure, like let's say he went there, he has to go here. It's checkmate. It's a missionary checkmate, they call it. They don't call it that. So he does trade down, and I'm completely content with this. I felt like at this point I'm a pawn up, and I'm going to be a little bit more infiltrated on his side. And, honestly, if I keep this, I wasn't even really thinking like this because I'm not that smart. If I keep this, there's not really a good way for him to get his rook out of there because he can't go here. And, you know, so I'm covering a lot of squares right here. Uh, so there's like coyotes outside. I don't know if you can hear them. So yeah, right here I'm feeling pretty good. I figure there's no harm in trading down. I feel like I'm a pawn up. I feel like my position's better. His rook's like stuck, you know. Now I don't have a great attack plan, but I figure I get my rook there, I'm gonna win that pawn one way or another. And I didn't really feel like he has much to do. I knew that he might be targeting this, but I just wasn't that worried about it. I felt like my attacks would be a little quicker when he went there to defend, I thought, oh, okay, that's a little more complicated. Uh, I can't just sack my rook and get rid of that. So I push it a little bit, but now I'm thinking, okay, he's got good defense on that. I'm gonna start bringing my king up on the white squares because he's got the dark square bishop. That was my idea at least. Um, Thinking I could probably get something done if I bring up the king, or at least I'd think of something. Maybe it's a little stupid. Maybe the bringing the king up just doesn't make sense because I'm looking at it now like, what does he have? What is the king gonna do? So yeah, he takes, and now I just feel like that was a really, really bad mistake. It says this is a blunder, but I'm not even gonna click that 10 move line. It's got honestly, they'd have to change the engine how it works, right? But when you're a 1200 player, at least in my, like, I'm never thinking more than 3 moves ahead. Like, I'm lucky if I'm thinking 3 moves ahead. But I'm definitely not looking at these lines where it's like you win a slight position or something. But if they adjusted the engine to where it only looked a couple moves ahead, it's not as good of an engine. So I get it, but sometimes the review is just like so computer like. I'm like, I don't care about that. Should I care about it? I don't think so, man. I think I should just keep playing chess, trying to get better. So yeah, right here, I feel like that's like a big blunder just because, now I'm eating pieces. I'm creating discovered checks. Like there's a lot of nasty stuff that could go on right here. Maybe even checkmate potential. At least that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, yeah, this is great. I could just gobble up some pieces. I have a passed pawn now. Um, he doesn't have a great way to defend it either. So I'm feeling pretty good. Right there, obviously, I'm trying to get the passed pawn through. Uh, Stay on this defender because I'm thinking, he's going to eat it there. And he does. And right here, it gets pretty interesting. Yeah, I didn't need to move that king. Again, I guess I'm thinking of the king because I'm just going to try to gobble up some pieces. I have too many passed pawns, I feel like, for him to really do much unless he gets his pawn queened or whatever, which, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't worried about it. Right here, I don't know if he thought that I was defending that or trying to attack that. I was not thinking about that at all. Honestly, that doesn't even work because he can just go there defending his piece. I was actually thinking about this. So he doesn't see it. Honestly, that move's weird because he's kind of trapping himself behind his own piece. He could have took there, which I think probably would have been smarter. Yeah, honestly, if he took there, that would have probably caused more problems for me. But he didn't. I get the discovered attack, picking up his rook, and at this point, the game's pretty much over because I have these 2 squares defended, so I'm getting a queen in 2 turns. He can get a queen, but it's going to take 3 turns, um, and my rook is defending it anyway, so it's gonna murk it as soon as it gets there. So yeah, I pretty much won the game at this point. Um, and I actually didn't do that bad. There I get the missionary checkmate, queen on top, as you can see. That's what the experts call it, not me. But yeah, I actually did pretty good with the checkmating pattern. I've been doing mate in twos, Polgar, so pretty satisfying, but also, not that crazy. It wasn't that complicated. Once I got the queen, it was pretty much over. Really, it was just process of elimination. I thought, normally you could just walk the queen down or whatever, but he has that. I was looking at the dark square. This is checkmate. It's as simple as that. I don't need to explain a checkmate to y'all. Y'all probably know what it is. Anyways, that was my game. Like, comment, subscribe if you like it. I just talk over my games. It's nothing crazy. Um, Sometimes I'm trying to get better. Sometimes I'm just having fun. I it would be great if you could just commit your life to chess and it could just be your full-time thing, but that's not the reality. And a lot of the times it's not my number one priority. So while I am doing puzzles, I am working through the Polgar books, I'm not committing 40 hours a week or anything to the craft. But I do enjoy the game. I hope y'all enjoyed this.